Hello, welcome to the third episode of our roundtable series, Ops in Motion. I'm Kawal, co-founder at Digital DI Consultants, joined by my co-founder, Shiv Panchagiri, and we are guiding conversation on how teams today can use analytics to not just report, but truly drive strategy. In this series, we deep dive into systems, strategies, stories behind marketing operations, and data analytics. We will also explore how to bridge the gap between the data and the decisions. And today we are thrilled to be joined by Jason Perkowski, who is the marketing analytics manager at Equifax. He has 15 years of experience in blending marketing know-how with the deep data expertise. And Jason is like a business acumen, analytics thinking, and his technical expertise. He's just a data pro who's someone who can turn insights into impact. So let's jump in. And Jason, would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you for the very kind introduction there, Kawal. So yeah, my name is Jason Perkowski. I'm a marketing analytics manager at Equifax. I work within one of our B2B marketing groups, and I'm in charge of marketing performance measurement and data operations. So I work, very closely with department leadership, demand generation, other marketing groups, as well as data and technology to really measure the effectiveness of our marketing programs and really understand and measure that. Right. So I have a long career spanning many data related roles, including finance BI, software engineering and consulting, and now, marketing analytics and ops. So excited to be here today.
Wonderful. Hey, Jason, I have a question for you. Well, was very keen to understand what's your take on the evolution of marketing operations over the past 7 to 8 years? And also, what is your process of turning raw campaign data, which is something useful to sales and leadership teams?
Sure, sure. Yep, great question. So, marketing operations, like many other areas, has really evolved a lot due to the growth in technology and automation. So it's kind of evolved from more of a back office kind of area to a more strategic one. An area, if done well, can really be a growth driver for the company. And that shift, like we're saying, has been driven by technology, automation, and data, and how much more targeted and efficient we can be in reaching the right audience. And this has improved both traditional broad-based demand gen, as well as newer ABM related motions where we're targeting smaller cohorts using intent data for very personalized messaging. And to me, it kind of comes down to four things or four areas: people, process, technology, and data. Right. And so you asked about data. So that's really foundational to all this. So, my process of turning raw campaign data into something useful for leadership really starts at the source, right? So first, you need to have a CRM with clean and governed data, that the business needs to know. Then, ideally, if you have like the budget and resources for this, I would recommend ingesting that data into into a data warehouse, right? So BigQuery, Azure, those kind of things. Once there, we can curate that raw data into like tables that are optimized for reporting. And then finally, you have dashboards that you build on top, easy to make easy to understand dashboards for the business. And it's about the dashboards, but it's really also about impact, right? And what I mean by that is when you're designing things for sales or leadership, you have to have that stakeholder in mind and understand what they want and need. And I work in marketing, so something that's very important to us is attribution, right?
Right.
So that's taking the data and showing, hey, these campaigns had these influences on these sales opportunities, right? So that's just an example of how to make it real for the business.
Nice. Well said, Jason. I mean, you really articulated it very well. I mean, that's what we've been saying all this for so many months and years. Okay, I have another question, Jason. So, since you have a good understanding of marketing analytics, what's one data insight that you've uncovered that completely changed how a team approached their strategy?
Great question. And one thing that comes to mind is actually like in my department, when we uncovered, just how many touches there are in the buyer journey and what some of those were. So seeing the whole customer journey and the many touches completely changed, the insights we're able to get from our campaigns. Is, for example, initially we were just looking at like the first touch or the last touch, but we evolved to like a multi-touch model where we're able to see all those different touches and split up the influence among many. So this allows us to uncover really the importance of certain channels, right? Namely, in our case, our webinar series and our trade shows, and really being influential in driving awareness and influencing opportunities. And
Mhm.
there's still a lot more we can do. We'd like to understand the sales touches, how many of them, what kind of touches those are, etc. So to summarize, I'd say one insight is really just discovering, hey, there are all these channels that are influential on the sales process, and here they are, and here are their win rates when a customer attends these two shows or they attend a webinar of ours. Our win rate has improved, right? So getting these kind of like um, uh, compound insights has really been instrumental in telling us, what marketing programs we need to lean more into and which ones we need to improve.
Right. Right.
And so, Kawal, you've been in marketing operations for over a decade now. So, what kind of changes have you seen in the tech stack, and what are some ways to optimize them fully?
Absolutely. That's again a great question, and it reflects how much we have seen the space has evolved. When I started my career in marketing operation, that was over a decade ago, the tech stack was very simple. We had CRM like Salesforce, and we had email sending out platforms like Marketo, Alequa, and maybe one or more tools like webinar hosting platforms, or you have form builders or some landing page builder tools. And then the focus was very simple to just send emails out and create automation and list based targeting for those emails. And then when they are sent out, score them and route them to the sales. But today, the stack has evolved a lot. Now, we are not only managing the email campaigns and the CRM, but we have multi touch attribution, we have ABM tools, we have customer data platforms, we have indent data providers, we have data orchestration platforms as well. So, I mean, a lot is going on. And of course, AI powered analytics and enrichment tools. I mean, I can go on still. There is so much to add into this list. But yeah, this is the evolution that we have seen. So this has caused a big shift that is not just in terms of tools that has added to the stack, but also the expectations. So MOPS is today expected to connect the dots between different teams and departments like marketing, sales, customer support, product, and make it all measurable. So now the question arises like, how do we optimize this growing stack? So what I have seen in my experience that these are the five things that make it work. So number one, start with the strategy and not just look at the tools. So nowadays, organization look at tools like, okay, we have these kind of tools that's going to do this and that. That's going to manage the lead. That's going to manage the funnel. But that's not right. We got to get the strategies right. So you don't need 15 integrations for something to work. You need the right tool to be integrated with the real process, and you need to see how it fits into your business and how it shows you the complete customer journey. And the second point would be centralized data governance. So the more the tools are, there's higher risk of fragmentations. So you got to define your source of truth. There has to be one tool which is the source of truth. And you need to build integrations with hygiene in mind. When I say hygiene in mind, I mean lead management. You have naming conventions, you have life cycle, you have ownership. So you got to define all of these initially so that people are clear, teams are clear about what who is looking at. Then standardizing the processes. So don't let every team work in silos. There has to be conjunction between cross teams, and there has to be shared frameworks. So again, the lead management impacts everyone, right? Campaign execution is also impacting all of the teams who's working together, marketing, sales, customer support, and the way the data is handled. So it's very important to have a shared framework there. And then auditing. So since we have so many tech stacks together, we need to audit them regularly. So it could depend on how big your database is, what type of marketing you do, and how big is the organization. You can, try auditing it maybe once in 3 months, once in 6 months, or once in a year. And of course, training your people. With the evolution in tech stack, I mean, it's very difficult to be, cope up with all of these tools. So you have to keep learning. So you need to train your team and prioritize creating internal documentations. And then ongoing cross-functional collaboration is very, very important. And yeah, so these tools have evolved. So, but the goal remained the same. We still got to see the alignment that is being driven by these tools, and we have to have the visibility, and the real outcome or the proper outcome is very, very important. So when you get that right, I think the stack becomes just an enabler, and there's no bottleneck, there's no issue, or there's no fallback that you're seeing in your processes to work. That's what my take on that was.
Wow, yeah, so many great points. I mean, it's so many tools, so many high expectations now. There's so much involved. So great points there. Shiv, what do you think is the biggest hidden cost of bad data you've seen in a campaign or pipeline? This data that Kawal was just referring to.
So, well, interesting you asked that, Jason. Well, the fact is, this has been a problem forever. And unfortunately, even today, in 2025, not enough attention is given to minimizing the impact of inefficient
Yeah.
and ineffective CRM data on marketing, sales, and customer service campaigns, right? Think about it. It eventually affects the company's bottom line, and that is revenue. Well, there are many effects of bad data. However, few that I can really highlight are: number one, wasted budget and its direct impact on campaigns, right? Communications are sent to invalid and outdated contacts. You are reaching out to companies and contacts that are not part of your ICP. So it has direct impact on your budget. The number two is you're leaving out great opportunities on the table. I know those are unfulfilled ones. The leads to the sales cycle, you're losing a lot of deals, and then of course it eventually affects your pipeline. The number three is poor customer service. Now, what happens is if your CRM has data duplicates, if it has inaccurate contact and company details, the lead efficiency of your customer service care kind of comes down drastically. And the number four, which I feel many people kind of neglect, is the alignment between the teams, right? Now, let's say, for example, the alignment between the sales, marketing, and customer service team, and in fact, with the leadership team as well. So you're always risking the operational inefficiencies due to bad data. And the number fifth that I can certainly pinpoint is ineffective reporting and decision making because of the CRM data. Well, these are some of the fews that are affecting the organization as a whole. The list kind of goes on, but eventually,
So,
as long as you are able to take care of CRM database, it helps you in many ways, right? Now, on a different note, I have a question for Kawal, right? Now, Kawal, when you are asked for attribution reporting, now, what do you say when the data isn't telling the whole story that you would ideally want it to be saying?
Right, that we all of us have faced. I think Jason could relate to it very well. We have
Oh,
faced it so much
yeah.
in marketing operations. So when I am asked for attribution reporting and the data isn't telling the truth, I would always start with the context. I would always refer to that and say that the model, what the model is showing up here right now, is not the complete model, and it is not
mhm.
capturing all the details, all the attributions, all the touches that we call. But because even the models like first touch, last touch, multi-touch, they are not going to track or capture all the interactions that happens. So there are many interactions which are offline. Like you meet someone outside of the office, you cannot track them in the tool. You have Slack introductions or Slack messaging, and you have somebody sending you a webinar invite on WhatsApp maybe or on Slack or on LinkedIn, and you call it as dark social also. So there are sales interaction that happens over coffee. Someone met you at lunch or coffee and they have some discussions about sales. So I mean, that's a rare that somebody goes and add that into the tools. So all of those are missed. So that's why the attribution cannot be complete. So I would add in like quantitative inputs, like whenever what the sale is hearing on the ground, right? What the sales team is hearing. So I would ask them and try to add those contexts. And I would say what content's being referred in the call. And then I would also add any spike that correlate with the untracked effort, any other untracked effort that I feel could be outside of. So I would try to collate all of that and try to put in, but again, we cannot add each and everything. And I'm going to be transparent with the stakeholders saying that, okay, this dashboard is directional, but not definitive. So let's be clear on this. And I would say attribution isn't about proving what marketing value is or how well the marketing is working. It's about building confidence on where to invest next. So it's going to give you that direction, like where you can invest next, process, which marketing mix is working better. So it's about something, supporting smarter decisions, and sometimes that means looking at the bigger picture and to get the full journey, and not just what's in the data. So that would be my take on attribution reporting.
Well, wonderful. That's pretty impressive, Kawal, and thanks for touching on some important aspects within attribution, right? Jason, this is for you. We all know that you are an advisory board member of Customer Data Alliance, right? Can you please help me understand more about your role and exactly what you're doing there?
Sure, sure. So yeah, at first, a little bit about the group. It's an association that was created to help, practitioners like us, as well as business leaders, to address a lot of things, frankly, that, we discussed today, in their organizations. So, my role on the board is really about bringing a practitioner's perspective, someone in the trenches of marketing data and operations. Um, I collaborate with other members within the group to help steer the group's content and direction, especially around best practices for activating customer data. I also promote the group, within my network to help secure, future speakers and sponsors for our events, because that's a big part of our events is the speakers that come. So, at events we talk a lot of things about building a strong data foundation, like we talked about today, how to make
Hmm.
data more accessible across teams, and how to drive better personalization and measurement. And there's particular emphasis on this cross-functional collaboration between marketing, technology, and product, to really build an understanding of these technologies, all the technologies we discussed today, and the use cases to ultimately activate this stuff within the business, right? This is complex stuff. It needs cross-functional collaboration to frankly be
Hmm.
successful. It's a great opportunity to learn about industries and meet other people, and help shape conversations that move the space forward. So thank you
Wonderful.
for
Well,
asking
sounds
about
like
that.
Well, sure. Well, it sounds like a great group, right? I mean, uh, maybe people can reach out to you or maybe other members of this association and see how they can collaborate with you all. Well, with that,
Absolutely.
sure. And what's the best way to get in touch with the association or the group?
Reaching out to me. We have a LinkedIn and page and a website. We're called Customer Data Alliance. So you can find
Hmm.
us. Find us there. Um, Chris Adelman is the founder of the organization. He's on LinkedIn. So just feel free to reach out to really anyone through our website or through me.
All right, sounds good.
Exciting.
All right. Thank you. Well, we are coming to an end to an amazing discussion. We covered many aspects of B2B marketing, starting from the evolution of marketing operations and tech stack in the past 7 to 8 years. We've also covered the role of data analytics in marketing and the consistent challenges with the CRM database. Jason, it was a pleasure having you on the show, and you have been fantastic with your insights. And thank you, Kawal, for the wonderful insights about the many aspects of marketing operations and data analytics as such. Thank you
Sure.
again.
Thanks, Shiv. Thanks, Jason.
Thank you.